Welcome to My Daily Thread. It's a great little place to get a snippet of wisdom from the yoga and the meditation masters to start or to end your day. I'm Jeff Lichty. All right, friends, we are back, and welcome to My Daily Thread, looking for that snippet, the morsel, the pearl of wisdom, a wee little bit of something that'll get us through the day, and that is the whole essence of what we're trying to do with this podcast. And we have been working from the Patanjali Yoga Sūtras, from the Sādhana Pāda, and specifically we are working on chapter 2, verse 21. It sounds like this: tad-arthaḥ dṛśyasya ātmā. And this is that idea that the nature of our seen existence is solely for the purpose of the Seer. This is not that we become narcissistic, we become totally self-absorbed and selfish, and we just take and take and take. No. That's not what Patanjali is talking about here. He's saying, look at your essence, the capital S self. And he uses the word ātmā. And we talked about that a little bit yesterday, coming from this tradition of Vedāntic. But in this sense, he's using it as the capital S self, the essence, the nature. And it is this place that we see from. All of the nature that's around us is meant solely to help us get liberated. Everything about the sutra, we need to try and find practical ways to apply them to our personal life, to our relationships, to our personal growth. It starts with our deep mindful engagement with the world. When we are given opportunities, when things appear in front of us, when we experience, this is an opportunity for us to grow. And we need to start thinking about, how can this experience show me more about myself? How can this experience show me how to grow? And watch that tendency to default to negativity and grumbling or complaining. I've been really working on this a lot myself. Watch those complainers. They draw you down. Watch when you become the complainer, then you draw yourself down and others. So this idea of working with mindful engagement with what we're given, that's the idea that we're going to move forward and we're going to be able to find something deep inside. Then the second point that we talked about yesterday was this idea of not being attached to outcomes. So we see that people are completely after success and pleasure, and we know that that's part of the kleśa experience. The kleśas, those are those afflictions or the obstacles that we have. And remember, they come out of attachment and fear, really. When we are chasing things, we're clinging to them. Before we realize it, we're wrapped up and we're enmeshed in that experience of chasing and grasping, and desire feeds back into more grasping and obtaining. And then maybe we don't get something. And then anger might get introduced there, where we're angry because we don't get what we want. And then we're resentful. So cultivating non-attachment to the outcomes has always been an important thing in the Eastern traditions. The Bhagavad Gita is really big on this. And then now Patanjali tells us about that. And so that leads us straight into, what is your purpose? Can we align our actions with some kind of inner evolution, not just looking for external rewards? We have to believe that those will come over time. Ask yourself about the choices you're making in your careers, in your relationships, in your habits. Is this helping me to grow into awareness? Is this helping me to become who I am supposed to be? What is my purpose? Does it bring me clarity? Does it bring me peace and fulfillment? So we were talking about relationships last week, and we really had a question for each day. And the first day, we were talking about, how do you show up? Taking an inventory of where we're at is really important. And then the second point was, are we coming from that deep inner stillness from a place of clarity, or is it just our conditioning? Often, some of our conditioning is bad. It's based on our trauma or our negative associations. The third point was asking the question, is this really about them, or is this really about me? The fourth point was, we need to learn to listen. And that was just shut it. Jefferson, shut up, shut it, and start to listen more. The last point about our relationships was to just understand that I am not my mind. I am the one who sees. And so all of this brings us to this idea of just cultivating that experience of the inner seer, the dṛṣṭṛ, and developing that inner freedom. And we can do that with meditation. Maybe you get into your meditation through your running, your swimming, your music, your dancing. It doesn't really matter. But the other piece that you could add some journaling. You could add some moments where you are very consciously taking some stillness and some silence to help you connect to that inner witness within. All right, I think that's pretty much got it. Life. It's always bringing me something to be aware of. All right, friends, thanks for listening. As always, Om, peace out.